Hey, what's up, guys? It's Corey here with Dapper Dollars. Today we're going to talk about the Merch by Amazon and Etsy income report for January 2021. You ready? Let's get started. So, this channel is all about using the Merch by Amazon and other online income opportunities to create income for ourselves, invest this income in things like the stock market and real estate, and create financial freedom for ourselves and our family. If that sounds like something you're interested in, like and subscribe, and let's get started. So, yes, I said I am adding Etsy to this income experience and letting you know what I also have coming in from a different online income source. Redbubble was not exactly successful. I think that it is a great platform to use in the future, and I think that it is going to be something that is going to be successful in the future. But for right now, Etsy is where I'm getting most of my income, aside from Merch by Amazon. So Etsy is what I'm going to talk about, and Etsy is what I'm going to focus on. I mean, this should go the same for you. If you have other income sources that are coming in that are more profitable than other income sources, obviously give attention to what's working. So in this situation, Redbubble is out for now and Etsy is in because Etsy is producing more income. So let's talk about these things. So my Merch by Amazon income, the revenue for Merch by Amazon for January was $976. I spent $195 on ads, which leaves me a profit of $781. This is great. This is amazing. It's not exactly as high as it was in December, but we can't have December sales all year round. But $781 is $781. I'm going to take that for sure. Now, let's talk about Etsy. So this Etsy store that I have is 2 years old. It is in a niche area of athletic clothing. And this is the income report that I have for Etsy. For that store, I had $545 in revenue, $372 in sales, which leaves $173 in profit. So actually it might have read that wrong, 123. Anyway, it'll be up on the screen somewhere. So those are my profit reports for Merch by Amazon and Etsy. $781 from Merch and $123 or 73 from Etsy. This is a great income to have. Now, this is going to give me an incredible leg up in the stock market because with the recent ups and downs we saw recently with GameStop and everything, there was a lot of volatility in the market. A bunch of people got scared because they thought that the, Reddit, Wall Street bets people were going to come into their stock and drive it up and really jack everything up. So a lot of people sold out of the market because of a little bit of scared feelings, and it gave a great buying opportunity for people like myself and others that we'll talk about in just a minute whenever we get to stocks. But for now, let's focus on what is working for me on Merch by Amazon. With Etsy, it's all kind of self-explanatory. I have one niche that I'm going after within Etsy, which is the specific athletic space, and I just make products related to that. And most of what's driving the growth of that store is the adding of new products and different variations, so women's shirts, women's tank tops, and things like that. I'm going to do more videos on Etsy and how I've grown that Etsy store in the future, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't noticed, Wednesday is usually the day where I do Merch by Amazon and Etsy videos. Monday and Friday are the days where I talk about stocks because, well, stocks are where I'm getting a lot of growth for my money. So that's where I'm focusing, and Merch by Amazon and Etsy are the vehicles that I use to invest. And so that is why I talk about it in the middle of the week, just because it helps me to keep going, to push forward, to create this income for myself so that I can continue to grow the stock market accounts that I have. I hope that makes sense and it didn't just come out like a bunch of word vomit. Anyway, so let's talk about what is working on Merch by Amazon. For the top sellers for January, the top sellers were ice fishing, autism awareness, and 100 days of school. And from these three products alone, I made $220. Now, that's over, not exactly a third, but it's less than a third of my income for the month of January on Merch by Amazon, just from three products. So Like we've talked about before, when you hit it big in these saturated spaces by using ads and stuff like that, and I'll link to my video on how I use ads to get into these saturated spaces there, this is evidence that if you get into these spaces, you are going to be able to make some serious money for yourself. 3 shirts made me over $220. So that is amazing, and I can't wait to keep focusing on it. We're getting a little bit back to normal. You know, usually throughout the year, the best sellers for me are breast cancer, autism awareness, and a different variation of those. So the fact that we still have ice fishing as the #1 seller for me right now is definitely an indicator that the ice fishing season is still going. And this is something I'm really going to focus on whenever January or whenever December comes around again this coming year. This is a great indicator that there is a lot of money to be made in just this market alone if it is still rolling in January. Now, let's talk about the runners-up that made some money as well for this Merch by Amazon account. The breast cancer, autism awareness, and realtor niche were the 3 runners-up. Breast cancer is obviously one of those that is a great seller year-round. October, it has a great boost. Autism awareness, this is just a different version of an autism awareness shirt that I have that is another great seller. Realtor is a niche that I've gone into recently, and it's done pretty great. I just put about, I think, 15 designs out there. One of them is taken off, and it's really just a simple text-based shirt. This is another evidence of the ads that really work, because I wouldn't have gotten into the realtor space without using ads. So again, I'll link that video again here. Use this ad strategy to get into the spaces that you need to get into to make the sales that can actually make you a real amount of money. I think from the realtor shirt alone, I made $50 a month. So it is definitely worth getting into these larger spaces and going after those bigger niches that seem saturated. So one thing you might have noticed though is that the 100 Days of School shirt was the bottom of the 3 of my top sellers. This is a sad thing for me because, I mean, before in 2020 of January, I made over $1,000 profit, and most of that was due to the 100 Days of School shirts that were selling. Now I just had 1 shirt that was taken off, and I maybe had another shirt that was maybe the number 7 reason that I made, or number 7 profit driver of the month. But it is a little sad and disappointing that 100 Days of School wasn't as big for me this year as it was last year. I noticed that there were sales, that there were a ton of sales coming in for 100 Days of School shirts. But I don't know, somehow I just didn't get in at the right time. Maybe I didn't have the right shirt, the right design. I don't know, no excuses. I just don't know what happened. But I still made a great profit this month. I'm very grateful for everything that I do have, and I will continue designing moving forward for 100 Days of School. And it looks like life is slowly getting back to normal, so this is a great reason to just continue to celebrate, even though I didn't make what I thought that I might have made before. Anyway, happy everything went the way that it did. Happy everything is continuing to work, and we're still able to make sales. And so let's talk about what the process of design is going to be getting ready for the rest of this year. From now until April, I am going to be designing for autism awareness almost exclusively. Now, this is really important, and you'll notice in the last income report that I did that I kept saying it was in March. Autism awareness is in fact in April. And so until April, I will be designing for autism awareness and breast cancer. These 2 are my money makers in a really big way, if you can't tell. Autism awareness and breast cancer show up at least 3 or 4 times in the top 10 shirts that sell for me each month. So it makes sense for me to continue to design for these niches and to continue to make products that will likely sell. So these are the products that I'm going to be designing for until April. And then after April, I will be designing for the evergreen stuff that sells in December. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at everything that sold in December. I'm going to find the top sellers that were there. So obviously ice fishing, craft beer, and the hobbies like that. And billiards. So ice fishing, craft beer, and billiards are the shirts that I'm going to be designing for Christmas, because those are my best sellers during Christmas of 2020. So what we need to do as people who design for Merch by Amazon is increase on what we did well in the past and make it so that we're compounding our results every year moving forward. So until April of this year, I'm going to be designing for breast cancer and autism. After April, likely into maybe August, September, I'm going to be designing for all of those evergreen niches. So the stuff that sells really well during Christmas. That is where I'm at with those. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great learning experience because it's going to give me an idea of what sells during Christmas and what can really drive up that December income report for 2022 or 2021. Yeah, anyway, the future's hard. Anyway, so that is where I'm at right now. That's what I'm looking forward to. And that's the money that I've made for January. I'm excited about it. And now let's talk about why I make this money, which is to invest in things like stocks, which have been just going nuts. Even if you're not in the stock market, you know that the stock market is going crazy because of things like GameStop, AMC, and BlackBerry, I think, took off because the people from Wall Street Bets decided to go into those. It's been a troubling time for the market, but it has presented, like I said, a lot of great buying opportunities. The weakness in the market last week, last week of January, first week of February, presented a great time to buy in because a lot of people were nervous. They were selling out. They didn't know if Wall Street Bets was going to come after their stock next. And so there was a lot of weakness in the market on Friday of January, the last week of January. That made a great time to buy in Monday, the first week of February. So that's what I did. And so right now, the stock market account that I have in E-Trade in December, it was sitting at $5,123, meaning I got around a 5.98% rate of return. Now, the stock account that I have is $8,124 with a 17.68 return. That's incredible. That's it is $3,000 difference. So, number one, I put money into this account that I make from Merch by Amazon regularly. Every month, that money goes into this account. The same thing happened this month. And also the fact that these stocks that I'm buying appreciate, which means that my money is growing. So, please get this, that the merch money that you make, the money that you make from Etsy, if you can, do not let this money just come in one hand and go out the other. Invest this money, let it grow. If you don't need this money, if you do not need the money that you're making to make rent or to pay for life to exist, invest this money. This is Amazon and Etsy paying for your retirement and giving you the option to be financially free in the future. Whether or not you take this opportunity is up to you. But you have this opportunity now if you can spare this money. So, once you get to a point where you can spare the money, absolutely put it into the stock market. Do not do it frivolously, though. This is something that you definitely should learn about. I am not a financial expert. Everything that I say on this channel is my opinion, and you should speak to a financial expert before making any decisions about your financial future. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Do not listen to me for your stock advice. Everything on here is just my opinion. So let's look at what the big winners were for me in January. The number one big winner was definitely Aemetis, which is a company that converts biofuel or bio runoff and stuff like that from dairy farms and the pig farms that convert the methane into renewable natural gas. And that is going to be an incredible resource in the presidency of Biden because he is definitely on board the green train. So that is one of the main drivers. That one exploded to almost 250 or over 257%. Vuzix is another one that I've been buying in heavily. I talked about it doubling the last time in my income report. I have continued to buy into Vuzix. Even though it doubled, I continued to buy in because I believe in this company long term, and I see it going to amazing places, if not in the 20s or 30s for their share price. So right now, Vuzix has a 61% return, and Hyliion is that company that I've just been dumping money into. This is my number one position, but guess what? I'm actually down on this position. I still keep dumping money into this because I know that Hyliion has the potential to be one of those next giants in the trucking industry. So I'm not going to give up on putting money into Hyliion. And I might go to my grave saying that Hyliion could be, should be, or would be something great. I hope that it happens. It's that's a little bit of the issue with the stock market. I did do a video on Hyliion recently about what I think is going to be the big game changer for these guys, if you want to check that video out. But Hyliion is perfectly positioned to be in a great leadership position for the EV space as far as Class 8 trucking industries go. They are the #1 competitor in that space. There is not much competition at all, and they are making some insane moves that I talked about in that video about putting themselves in the position to just dominate this space. So I'm very bullish on Hyliion. Even though I'm negative on my position right now, I'm still buying in. Now, Dropbox is the next stock that we're going to talk about, and I did a video here about why it is easy money that I believe that. And it's just for the same reasons that I talked about in the previous income report. There are definitely things around Dropbox, their business model and how it functions, and how the world is evolving around us is basically pushing Dropbox into the heights of success. If it doesn't become a major stock growth company, it is going to throw off some ridiculous dividends in the future just for their cash flow potential. So I'm very bullish on Dropbox. I've also got Carnival Cruise Line in there. That's just, purely a speculation play because they're obviously going to come back. They're not exactly a zombie company, but the government is definitely keeping them afloat, and they're going to keep them afloat until cruises can become a thing again. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now as far as my income, as far as my stock investments. Life is good. The work that I put in as far as learning about stocks and learning how to invest in the stock market has been very beneficial. Obviously, it's gotten me quite a bit of money, and so I'm looking forward to investing more in the future, making more on Merch by Amazon, and doing what I can to help you guys to put you in the position to be financially free for yourselves and your families. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and remember, someone is going to do something amazing every day, guys. Why not you? See you.